scientific death.
On August 6, 1753, the Academy of Sciences in St. Petersburg was holding a routine meeting. But Professor Georg Richmann wasn't focused on the proceedings. He was listening to a distant roll of thunder echoing over the city. At the first sound of the storm, Richmond leaped from his chair. He grabbed his personal engraver and sprinted out the door, racing back to his own house to intercept the incoming weather. Professor Richmond headed straight for his laboratory. He intended to intercept the atmospheric charge of the thunderstorm and force it through a specialized instrument to record its exact numerical strength. He brought the artist along to document a milestone in natural science. It was an attempt to turn a chaotic storm into cold data, but the mechanics of his experiment were about to trigger a far more violent result. History features a grim subgenre of inventors killed by their own creations. People like Franz Reichelt, the tailor who designed a wearable parachute and died jumping from the Eiffel Tower to test it. Or, more recently, Stockton Rush, the pilot and designer of the experimental Titan submersible. These cases usually involve a certain type of personality, reckless daredevils pushing past established safety limits. But Georg Richmann was the exact opposite of reckless. He was one of the most disciplined, cautious, and mathematically precise physicists in Europe. To understand why a meticulous mathematician ran headfirst into a deadly storm, we have to look at his central obsession. Richmann believed that the chaotic forces of nature could be forced to submit to strict mathematical rules. Long before he ever tried to harness electricity, Richmann had already mapped out a different invisible energy: heat. He developed what is known today as Richmann's law of mixtures. It's a foundational equation used to perfectly calculate the transfer of thermal energy when combining liquids of varying temperatures. Take equal masses of water at two extreme temperatures, 20 and 80 degrees Celsius, and pour them together. Richmann's equation combines the mass and temperature, predicting the final mixture stabilizes at exactly 50 degrees. This predictable, flawless control over heat gave Richmann immense confidence. If he could trap thermal energy in an equation, he reasoned he could do the exact same thing to a lightning bolt. He shifted his focus to atmospheric electricity, heavily inspired by Benjamin Franklin, who had recently theorized that lightning was simply static charge on a massive scale. To capture the data, Richmann built an instrument called an electrometer, featuring a hanging thread and a semicircular degree scale. When charge enters the rod, it repels the thread, revealing the numerical strength of the charge. Richmann ran a wire from a roof rod straight down into his living room electrometer. To trap the electricity, he insulated the device. The wire hit a dead end, leaving a gap with no path to the earth. His desire to capture the energy overrode the most basic safety rule of electrical work: grounding. By denying the charge a safe route into the soil, Richmann had turned his living room into a bomb waiting for a spark. Returning to the afternoon of August 6th, the storm finally arrived directly over the house. Richmann leaned his face close to the electrometer, waiting for the thread to move across the scale. From his spot across the room, the terrified engraver watched an anomaly emerge from the apparatus. A brilliant, glowing orb of blue-white ball lightning leaped out from the metal rod and hovered in the air. A split second later, the orb collided directly with Richmann's forehead. The impact triggered a deafening explosion that sounded like a small cannon firing indoors. The blast knocked the engraver unconscious. When the smoke cleared, Richmann's shoes had been blown open, and the heavy wooden door to the room had been torn entirely off its hinges. Georg Richmann was killed instantly. In that chaotic moment, he became the first human being on record to die while conducting an electrical experiment. When Benjamin Franklin later reviewed the reports from St. Petersburg, he quickly pinpointed the mechanical failure that led to the tragedy. This diagram illustrates Franklin's conclusion. Because the insulated wire had no path to the Earth, the massive atmospheric charge sought the path of least resistance. It used Richmann's own body as the final conduit to complete the circuit to the ground. The highly publicized death sent a chill through the international scientific community. It abruptly halted similar lightning experiments across Europe. Every time a modern student or scientist calculates the temperature of a thermal mixture, they rely on equations Richmann perfected years before he turned his attention to the sky. He died attempting to quantify the storm with that same mathematical precision.